tap in, Crown Collective, tap in. Now, happy Sunday. I have to come on here and be completely honest with y'all. I'm a little perturbed today. I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit like I'm really kind of bothered today, and I gotta tell you why, collective. Because I am seeing people who are supposed to hold your energy in a sacred space, in a sacred light, take complete advantage of it. Tap in, okay? Hey, Travis, thank you so much for being here. I am seeing people who call themselves spiritual teachers, spiritual leaders, lovers of God, cloaking themselves as people who are here on divine assignment to lead others through dark times, through difficult times, or even just motivate them. They're cloaking themselves as people who know what they're doing, but in all actuality, they are harming people. Tap in. They are harming people of the collective, okay? And the reason why this is so important to me is because when it comes to people who are walking in their divine purpose, like you and I, there is a certain level of leadership that we look to during parts of our journey to help us get through, right? Tap in, whether that's people that we know in our communities, in our families, our friends, or even like online, like in this community right here, okay? And what I'm finding is that people take spirituality and this journey to leading others, they take it and they twist it into a form of entertainment that causes destruction and chaos. Tap in. And I can't stand it. So today's message is going to be, hey, it's going to be partial prophetic word, is going to be partial education. I might pull a card or two, I'm not sure. But today, while today's mathematics is the number 7, and we're going to dive into that, I'm going to title this Dangerous Minds. Tap in. That is what we are going to talk about. Okay, we're going to talk about how there are infiltrators at some of the highest levels. I'm not talking about wickedness in high places as it pertains to governments and agencies that are bigger than us. I'm talking about people that you probably scroll by on a daily basis. After this live stream ends, somebody else gonna pop up and they might be who I'm talking about, or they might not be. They might be on the other side of what I'm talking about. But there is a dangerous mindset that is happening where people who put on the role of a leader, of a spiritual teacher, of a professional ritualist, of somebody who believes in elixirs and divine feminine, divine masculine. They throw these terms around, right? I'm just looking at my chat here. Like, there are people out here who utilize this language to draw in those who are on some point of their journey a bit vulnerable. Tap in. Listen, I'm not missing no words, okay? Because we've all been there. And they use that point of entry to manipulate and possibly disregard and harm the journey and the progress that the collective has been on. Tap in. I'm bothered. Okay, so if you are ready for me to go in and break this down, I need you to type a 1 in the chat. Y'all, this is channel message. So this can possibly go anywhere, baby. Okay, this can possibly go anywhere. I got your chat, I got the chat right in front of me, so I can see what's going on. I know what's happening, and I will be focused on my channel message because it's imperative. But I will also ensure that I tap in when I can. Okay, tap in. So there is the dangerous mindset of manipulative spiritual content. Period. There's no other way around it. There's no other way to talk about it. And one of the things that really gets me as I'm looking at other spiritual content, not just on YouTube, but on TikTok, on Facebook, on Instagram, and there's even a small spiritual sector popping up on Twitch. Tap in. As I'm looking through these people's content, I am seeing that there is a great divide. Tap in. There is a huge divide of how content and information is given. And if there is an untrained eye, which when most of us go through our spiritual awakenings, our spiritual journeys, when we're searching for more information, when we have that thirst of knowledge, it's hard to kind of see where that line is because we're so hungry for the information, right? Tap in. And oftentimes what gets us to stay in a community that is possibly unfit is what's called intermittent reinforcement. Tap in, okay? I need you to get out your pen and paper, okay, collective, because we're about to go in. I'm looking at the Knight of Cups, straight up emotional manipulation here, spiritual manipulation here with the Knight of Cups. And intermittent reinforcement is a gambling psychology mindset, right? So the house might let you hit every once in a while to make you think that you're winning some money, but in all actuality, what's happening is that you are losing more than you are gaining, and you will be leaving in a deficit. Hi, Shine, how are you? Okay, the topic today is dangerous minds, baby. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about how people have infiltrated the spiritual community under the guise of support and love and help, but are truly causing a deficit in those who want to honestly and genuinely grow. Tap in. And so when you have creators, especially, well, not especially, but when you have creators, and in my case, creators who mix a blend of real life situations with tarot, with channel messaging, with all of that. When you have that, you'll have people rapid fire, right? I rapid fire from time to time, right? So what they're doing is they're throwing out a lot of information, and there's no cohesiveness to the information. So on one point, they might be like, oh, well, this got something to do with somebody's family who is sacrificing a goat in your name, right? And then the next minute they'll go over and say, okay, so this is somebody who you had a relationship with 10 years ago. They trying to make contact with you. Tap in. Okay, I need you to follow me. And then in the same 30 seconds, they'll be like, okay, well, this is somebody who is practicing dark magic against you while also scamming other people around them while also doing A, B, C, and D. And it might be that one out of those three things might hit you. And you like, oh, that person talking to me. This person knows exactly what's going on with me. I need to like tap into this because this person has an insight that I don't have, and they might lead me to feel better, to understand what's happening, to break down how do I get out of this. But in all actuality, all it's doing is providing a single dopamine hit that ends up leaving you more confused and chaotic than what you came in for. Tap in. And that is problematic because a lot of people who put on the robe of spiritual leader and teacher, they don't tell you that they're for entertainment purposes only. Tap in. Now there's a difference. There's a difference. Okay? You have to pick and choose, but even in your picking and choosing, there are people who tote that line so dangerously that you might find yourself falling into that. Listen, nobody is exempt from this. No one is exempt from this. Tap in. Y'all see this person in the chat? That person is probably doing that. Tap in, tap in. I'm not exempt. You're not exempt. The difference is that whether or not we have the information and knowledge base in order to spot when somebody is actively manipulating us with intermittent reinforcement. Okay, so what this does is it keeps you addicted. It keeps you coming back. It keeps you watching. It keeps you like entertained for the next possible hit. And it is the same neurological tools that casinos use to keep gamblers there. Tap in. That's a problem. People have lost their lives. Okay? It's entertaining yet draining. And once you have the mindset, I want you to think about your own spiritual journey, collective. Now, we need to actually put on the spiritual warfare glasses, boo. Once you have a clear understanding of what's truly happening, okay? Once you see that, it no longer becomes entertaining. Now you're like, oh, this is some sick shit. That's what ends up happening. Tap in. And that's what makes this so insidious, because a heap of people trust this person with their journey. Even though these people that are in vulnerable states, that may actually be going through some of the most difficult times of their lives, they have experienced people manipulating them. They have gone into fights, into generational battles with their families. They have lost friends. They have lost support systems. They have lost their jobs, lost their money, lost their homes. That what is insidious and dangerous is that person feels validated right then and there, but there is no emotional, there's no emotional healing. There's no holding of a situation in those moments. And so somebody can take that and say, yes, this is what's being done to me. They feel good, that they feel momentarily validated, yet there is no hope. Once they leave this digital space and go out into the real world, there is no hope for them moving forward. They still stuck in a chaotic cycle. That is dangerous. That's what I'm saying. Tap in. Yeah, exactly. No perspective learned, and you just don't feel better. Even if you're like, okay, this person is validating me in that moment, I feel okay. But then you still leave in the same chaos that you came in. That is spiritual malpractice. And I have seen it over and over and over again. And those of us who take this seriously, who come on this app, who come on multiple apps and say, I care about the collective, and we gotta present this in a way where people can heal. We see this. We see it, and we really want to be like, yo, look at what you are consuming. Is this beneficial? Is this beneficial? Because I guarantee you, the people who got in they disclaimer, tarot cards are used for entertainment purposes only. I guarantee you, most of those people do not come on here and say, I am an entertainer. They don't say that. They say in so many words, by way of giving advice, by way of leading, by way of donning the cloth of a spiritual teacher and leader and channeler. When you say you're a channeler, when you say you're intuitive, what you are actually saying is that I am given a gift by God that I am using right now. My gift ain't for entertainment purposes. I can be entertaining, sure. But the gift that I have is not for entertainment purposes. The gift that I have is for you, that you can lean into and feel love and held and validated and appreciated and get through a threshold. Tap in. That's what it's for. And y'all, can y'all tell I'm kind of bothered today? I'm so annoyed. I'm so annoyed because I will see people with 2 people in the chat, up to 3,000 people in the chat across platforms. And what's being spewed at a person is all of these outlandish things, these outlandish scenarios, yet there is no way to ground. No way to ground the collective. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. I take that as a testimony. Because it conditions people to confuse validation highs with divine truth. That's actually what it does. And y'all, when I say like it is cause for pause and to ring the alarm, when I said, what was that, 2 days ago, that spiritual inflammation is at an all-time high, I truly believe that the collective is starting to see the fish in their own ponds, the bigger fish in their own ponds that are leading them into more chaotic thinking. Tap in. I'm telling you, collective, this is a big deal. And as someone who went to school, not saying like I'm not a licensed clinical profession, I don't care to go get my license because quite frankly, the hours are absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not interested in clinical work on that level. If I want to do clinical work, I'll go get my doctorate degree. But a sister been to school, okay? And there are O's that I have to upkeep. And I always look at the collective from a strength-based perspective. What is the collective strength? And how can I pour into that strength? So in moments of their vulnerability and possible weakness, they can fight off the spiritual warfare. They can fight off the narcissistic attacks. They can fight off the false information. Tap in. How can I feed their strength so that they can thrive? Tap in. That means looking at the spiritual warfare. That means looking at certain situations and still saying like, yo, here's some therapeutic guidance and some motivational spirituality, so I'm not leaving you hanging. And so a lot of what I'm seeing, teachers who don the cloak. Okay, remember, cloakers, spiritual cloakers. So people that I see don a cloaker's robe to blend in with the true teachers of faith, the true teachers of God, the true teachers of holy words, the true teachers of prayer, the true teachers of light and love. Like those people that are putting on that fake cloaker's robe and blending in, they are doing what's called thought broadcasting. Tap in. Oh, wait. And grandiose delusion induction. So when people claim, oh my gosh, tap in. When people claim that they see or hear or feel specific dangers, like every which way, I said tap in, every which way, they create what's called hypervigilance priming. I said get your notebooks, collective. I said, get your notebooks, collective. They create what's called hypervigilance priming, which means you are like at a heightened state of paranoia all the time. Imagine what that does to somebody in a vulnerable state. Imagine what that does to you, what that would have done to you, or what that could do to you. If you come into my chat and be like, Cass, I am really going through it right now. And I'm like, girl, you going through it? Well, watch out for that person. Well, watch out for this. Dark magic coming down, raining through. Watch out. Bombs away. Like, now you like, whoa, what? Now you thinking about this is what I'm pouring into your mind. This is what I'm pouring into your soul. And people that do that are not holding the responsibility of sending you about your day in your way, seeing that they contributed to you being hypervigilant with no way of centering yourself. When you are constantly scanning for threats because you believe or you know to be true that you are always under spiritual attack, or you are under serious attack from family members, from friends, from whoever, whatever your situation is, you should not be coming to me and I'm telling you this is what's going on, and there is no recourse for chilling, no recourse for bringing it back, no recourse for grounding you in a reality that helps you see the solutions. Tap in. Dangerous minds. I gotta calm down, y'all. I gotta calm down. Because when you have somebody, or when you have teachers, when you have spiritual leaders who don the cloak while saying, oh, this is for entertainment purposes only, but yet donning the cloak of healers, of true healers, of people who literally put that work in. What they essentially do is they train your nervous system to expect betrayal, attack, and hidden enemies and distractions 24/7. All the time. So now your nervous system don't never get a chance to relax because someone told you there is no opportunity to relax. There is no opportunity to feed yourself, to love yourself. Dangerous minds. It is very important, collective. There is no woosah. And I need you to understand that people who do thought broadcasting and they support grandiose delusion induction. I said grandiose delusion induction, which means they are pulling you into a mindset that true clinicians, licensed clinical professions that been in the game for 20, 30, 40, 50 years are saying this is dangerous. This is dangerous. There needs to be when I said there is a tuition for intuition, there is a tuition, the price that you have to pay spiritually when you don't take your gifts responsibly, or you're perpetrating a fraud and putting on a cloak. Listen. That is not discernment, collective. I want you, the reason why I'm coming like hard on this is because y'all might be aware today. Some things I say, you like, girl, I already know that. That's why I am where I am. But you got to remember, you where you are. Look at yourself 3 years ago, 5 years ago, shit, yesterday, last month. Look at your journey. Remember when there was a time that you were not as aware. We're not going to judge those on their journey who don't know. So the reason why I gotta bring this out of the cosmos and bring this out of the digital space is because y'all walking amongst people that's in the collective as well. And they do not have the knowledge base yet. Ooh, that's not discernment. People that do that's not discernment. It's counterfeit, actually. It keeps the collective anxious and it keeps them distracted, which is why I said, and I didn't even know like this was even going to come back around, spiritual inflammation, where your alarm systems keep going off. And sometimes you can't place why. And you like, I'm watching people, I'm listening to people, I'm doing this, but there is something not meshing. That's because people are speaking into you chaos and your nervous system is embodying that chaos. I'm telling you to take a deep breath. I'm telling you to take a moment. This is incredibly important to your life. Dangerous minds. Tap in. I'll be like, hey, God, what's up? Been waiting on you. What you mean? What you mean? I might just ask her straight up, like, oh, yo, hiding somebody. So for somebody who might see this conversation later on, somebody just asked in the chat, what will you say to God if he comes to your door right now? I'm gonna invite him in for a glass of water. I'm gonna tell him, listen, it ain't the purest water, okay? I know you had a long trip, your highness, your royalness, okay? Also, did you bring my grandma with you? Okay, that's what I'm asking. What you mean? Okay. Listen. Okay, drink this water. I'm gonna still be looking out the door, like, oh, they parking the chariot, like, what? Looking up at the sky. Okay, it still look normal as clouds up there. Okay, I don't see this hole in the ozone. Okay, all right. They're gonna be like, what in the world? Listen. Somebody said I'd hug God for real. Dap him up. Hey, what's going on, bruh? We've been waiting for you. Do you see what's happening outside your front door? I know the next couple of years about to be crazy, with revelations and all that. But where did you bring my grandma with you then? Tap in. Listen, y'all, let me get back on track, okay? Because these spiritual manipulators are next freaking level, okay? I'm of course, just having a little bit of fun, but I don't know. I mean, you could always, say what you think you're going to say because it hasn't happened, but I don't know. I don't know if his presence would just be so great that I couldn't do anything but cry and be in awe. If I'll just get down on my knees and pray and just thank him for allowing me to even sit here and tell you what it looks like when you have a spiritual cloaker in your presence, for allowing me to use my gift to connect with other people. Like, I don't know. So we can have all fun and games, but the fact is that I don't know. And so that's my answer. Okay. Rainbow Dragon, tap in. The third thing, okay, I feel like I have a list. So the first thing was, what was the first thing, y'all? Geez. The first thing was intermittent reinforcement. Thank you. The second thing was thought broadcasting and grandiose induction. And the next thing that I want to talk about is confirmation bias manipulation. Oh my gosh, tap in. Okay, hi. Confirmation bias manipulation. And so what this means is that somebody will so I'm sure you guys have seen this. Okay, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Okay. where somebody, yes, hey, flower buddies, where somebody will throw a whole bunch of scenarios at you. This happens a lot in debates as well, where somebody's like against the wall with a point. And so the person that's against the wall will start throwing out just all types of wild conversational points that have nothing to do with the point. As a matter of fact, I saw this recently. Y'all gonna be like, oh my gosh, Kaz, what in the world? I saw this recently with Candace Owens. Big eye roll, right? Talking about a cloaker. Anyway, I saw this recently with Candace Owens when she was on a debate show, Tap In, and she was up against a beautiful woman by the name of Priscilla. I think that was her name. Priscilla. She called herself Priscilla the Queen Maker. Tap In. I don't know too much about her outside of that interaction. And so what I recognized is that Priscilla sat in front of her, gave an introduction, asked Candace to define a particular term. And as Candace kept getting back into a corner, beautifully done by Priscilla, by the way, okay, Candace Owens was like, so Kamala Harris shouldn't have been shouldn't have been vice president, or so Obama shouldn't have been voted president. Whatever she said, that was dumb. And Priscilla was like, girl, we ain't even talking about none of that. Okay, Tap In, we talking about you. So Candace was throwing out as best as she could different, situations to try to get this young lady off her game and try to confuse her. And what the young lady was able to do was confirm certain parts of what Candace was saying, but then go back in and be like, let me tell you why what you're doing is manipulative. And she did it in a way that was quite beautiful. Shout out to that young lady. She seems to be very well studied and she seems to know her shit. Tap In. But now she's a spiritual teacher in a different way. And because she presents the way that she presents conversations, that that's something true to her heart. And we're going to talk about that later, okay? How you could just see through the bullshit, okay? But in the case of where my sector is and what I look at and look into, Tap In, is that the confirmation bias manipulation is that people will throw out a whole bunch of scenarios where it will always feel like it applies to you. I make it very clear that my content is not for everybody, and the majority of people are going to just say, nah, no thank you. No, thank you. Cash, you're doing too much. You ain't for me. Your message is not for me. And I'm completely okay with that. Tap In. I am calling forth a certain type of person in a space in their journey. And so when I work with my business coach, yes, you should have a coach. Tap In. Everybody should have a coach for something in their life at one point in time in your life, okay? So when I work with my business coach was like, why don't you talk to people who are at the beginning of their journey? That's not my audience. If people that are at the beginning of their spiritual awakening need information, there are millions of videos out here of people who genuinely understand that journey that leads them. Period. That's not where I'm starting. And that's not the way my mind works. So I'm not throwing a whole bunch of things at the wall to see what sticks. I know what sticks with the collective that I'm speaking to. I know what sticks with y'all. Spiritual warfare is a big deal. Your faith is a big deal. Being championed in your journey is a big deal. Besides, y'all not 18, 19, 20. Y'all, we old. Ain't no beginning of nothing. Tap In. And if something is the beginning, it's because we starting over again. Tap In. So So when you have somebody flooding a whole bunch of scenarios that are so broad that something will always feel like it sticks, that is confirmation bias manipulation. That's what keeps you engaged, which goes back to it feeling like you gambling. Tap in. So when you hear that, your brain, your nervous system is lighting up like, oh, that's me. That's me. Yes, this person knows me so deeply. And let me tell you the kicker. Let me tell you the kicker. See, y'all don't even know that I be doing my research. Okay. I do active research. I have hired readers just to do market research. Tap in. Oh, beach. I have hired some of these coaches for their 1 day containers. Oh, yes. Some of these people ask for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for market research. What are these people doing? Who are they speaking to? Is there a difference between what they're offering online versus what they're offering for one-on-ones? Thank you. What exactly are their communities like off of and in their private space? And some of these people, some of these coaches, some of these leaders, I have stuck with. I am still a part of their communities because they are that good. And then there are others where I'm like, oh, you a cloaker. No, you didn't just give me a reading that pertains nothing to my life. Because you assume that because you're throwing so much at the wall and it's something stuck with me, that you can do that in a one-on-one setting. Tap in. That is confirmation manipulation. And it manipulated you into believing that this person can give you a channeled message or a tarot message or whatever one-on-one that doesn't truly exist because they're fucking liars. Tap in. I said it. I said it. So what this does is it creates a false sense of prophetic authority. That's what it does. It creates a false sense of prophetic authority. Dangerous minds. This is a problem. This is a problem. Okay? Let me pull my chat back up over here, because sometimes, listen, like I said, we getting older and these little behind white letters on this screen, the girl, please. Okay. Let me see what the comment section is saying. It's love, is a high vibe. Yes, absolutely, always. I said thank you to Kingston. Thank you so much. Yeah, we are trying to make a roast. Not exactly, Travis, exactly. And it matters so much because when I have people that enter my world, whether it's through my newsletter, whether it's through my community here, whether it's through Telegram, when people enter my community, I have a lot of people say like, oh, you don't present the information the same way other people do. Or I was expecting this, but instead I got that. Like when people enter my world and they see the level of threshold services that I provide and that the sacred space that I create is quite unique. And to my own horn, but also taking, what do you call it? Reviews, testimonials, and applying them. That's because I'm not out here just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks. I can't do it. And I won't do it. And when people who utilize their cloaks to create a false sense of prophecy and prophetic authority, it actually trains the collective, those who have not come into the knowledge yet. Tap in. Yet. It trains them to outsource their discernment. Y'all ain't ready. I said it trains them to outsource their discernment. And I know that members of the collective have experienced people who need to go check with somebody else before they make a decision because they don't know how to stand 10 toes down on their own. Let me tell you something, collective. When you stand 10 toes down, whether right or wrong, hey, Miss Kelly, whether right or wrong, the collective going to be like, bitch, I stood 10 toes down, right or wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll circle back around, do what I need to do to create a mending space. I'll do it. I'll heal what needs to be healed, and I'll keep it pushing. But the conviction is there. They might ask for outside opinions. They might ask for, I'm talking about you, the collective. You might ask for somebody to listen and offer their advice. But when it comes down to it, you're making your own decision based off of your life experience, not anybody else's. It is clear that the collective understands at this point that they don't need to outsource their decision, their intuition, their discernment to anyone else but themselves. Tap in. I'm merely providing support in a way that allows you to have extra air beneath your wings. Okay? What's that song by Bette Midler? The wind beneath my wings. I just want you to have that extra oomph. I love that song, actually. That's such a beautiful song, okay? The next thing I want you to look out for with these dangerous mind spiritual cloakers, tap in, is that they do what's called in-person persecution. Sorry, not in person, in group persecution. Thank you, Holy Spirit. In group persecution, where it's just like the chosen, which is you and I, right? The anointed, the gifted, the spiritually gifted, divine feminine, divine masculine, the awakened, like us, we out here on our own. And that is a huge issue because it creates groupthink. Collective, you're not out here on your own. Tap in. Y'all got families, y'all got kids, y'all got workspaces, okay? Y'all, I mean, like, what I will never say, hey, I will never say like you're out here by yourself. Now, you may have done things on your own. You may have done things without help, without anybody's help. But girl, I'm here. What you mean? What you mean? The collective is not alone. And plus, we don't excommunicate based off of somebody's lack of knowledge when it comes to the Holy Spirit, when it comes to life lessons. We don't do that. We excommunicate people because they're demons. Tap in. We excommunicate people because they take advantage of us. Tap in. We excommunicate people because of certain mindsets that impede on how we move. Tap in. I don't judge divine bliss because they reading the book of the dead instead of the Bible. I don't judge Travis because Travis is or excommunicate them because Travis is a morning person and I'm an afternoon person. Like, girl, no. It is good versus evil. And if people embody that evil, then we deal with them accordingly. Tap in. But I'm not doing no gang. It's anointed over here, and it's the unicorns over there. Like, that's crazy. That's groupthink, and that's type of stuff builds a cult. That's right. You got people on here, dangerous minds, building cults based off of this type of in-group persecution complex. And let me tell you what it does. It isolates people. I don't believe in isolation. I'm sorry. I believe in community. How you build your community is your business. But I do not believe in isolating yourself. It's not human. It's not human. It's not healthy. I believe in the collective building a healthy community one by one. If that means it's just you and I until you find somebody else along the way, then it's you and I. If it's just you and your babies, that's your part of your community. If it's you, your babies, and one good teacher at your baby's school, that's building a community. If you see me out here in Southern California and you like, oh my gosh, Cass, I can't, your afro really is that big. Oh my gosh, it really is a gray streak in the middle. Hey girl, you're a part of my community. It takes, and they literally say it takes a village, yet you got people out here saying, don't build a village. That's wild to me. That is wild to me. You cannot have people isolating themselves because they are scared of what might happen in the future. Yes, the collective has been hurt. They have been betrayed. They have been burned. They have been lied to. They have been manipulated. They've taken the blame for other people. Some of y'all have done jail time. Some people have lost their lives. Like for real, I'm not playing at all. Some of y'all lost your houses, your homes. Y'all taking out loans for people. Okay, tap in. Some of y'all are paying other people's karmic debts. Some of y'all have left the church, found the church, left the church again, found the church again. Like I'm not discounting any of that at all. What happens when you are hit with something that hurts so bad that you need a moment to yourself? You take that moment to yourself, but you never isolate for the rest of your life. You build your community. To preach against that is crazy. This is a community right here. Accident is one thing, Miss Kelly, and oftentimes the way that time even works when it comes to healing, a lot of time can pass. But that don't mean you don't come into this chat and feel like you're not a part of a community. That don't mean that when you comment on this community, that I'm not going to heart you. Tap in. I'm glad you feel, I want you to feel welcome. But it's not unless we're dealing with not even high level spiritual warfare or people who are detrimental to your life. Why would you not want to build a community? I just told you I joined the gym. Do you think that's not a part of my community? I know everybody's name up in there. I'm about to find out where everybody works. I'm trying to be a part-time CEO, spiritual consultant. Tap in. That's a part of my community. Going to the grocery store is a part of my community. When people start saying, oh, hey, I seen you in here before. How you doing today? Hey, when the same people start speaking to you, that is building a community. You got people on here donning the role as a cloak of spiritual leaders and teachers saying like, oh no, don't build a community. It's just you. It's just you. Even in your isolation, it should not just be you. Tap in. I want to make that clear, because what it does is it pulls away from your ability to reality test. You've got to reality test what is going on around. You got to have the ability to say like, whoa, am I still operating at my base level or above and beyond? Tap in. If I have not seen my sister in 6 months and she video times me, or she flies out here and comes see me, and she does not look the same, or she does not look like she's doing well, that I am a reality test for her. Tap in. And she is a reality test for me. That is a part of human growth. That's a part of your spiritual growth. And you got people out here saying, no, break away from reality. No, it's you versus the world. Dangerous minds. Dangerous minds. This fractures covenant relationships, collective. And it's really one of the most destructive portals. It's really one of the most destructive portals of manipulation in spiritual warfare. Tap in. It is. It is. I know, collective, people haven't shown up the way that you want them to. I'm looking at the King of Wands right now. Feel like you got to burn everything around you. I've been there. You've been there. We've been there. You get to build your community. You don't get to choose your family. Sometimes you can't even choose your friends until you're older in life, because you go to school with these people, all that. But you can build your community. You have that choice. Tap in. Oh, so what was that, y'all? Number 4. Okay. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was one more thing I wanted to say, but I feel like I lost it. And that's why I should have wrote it down on a piece of paper, but I didn't. I just came on here and wanted to. I thought I was going to come on here and just do a full-blown reading, but I was so perturbed. Oh, that felt good. I was so perturbed with what I've been seeing with so-called spiritual teachers, people that put themselves in these communities and say, I am here to help you. I'm here to guide you. But truly, hey, Ms. Mona, truly what they are doing is they are manipulating the collective. And when they get paid for that, because people are sending them super chats and people are sending them cash chats, and that's great. I think you should get paid for your work. But when you are leaving people in a spiritual openness that festers chaos and delusion, that's problematic. That's problematic. Dangerous minds. So let me just reiterate real quick. What's happening in the space? And you know what? Let me take this back real quick. When I first start, if you are in my membership, right? If you are in my YouTube membership, the collective circle, you will see that I'm starting to unhide a lot of my prophetic messages. And I was wondering whether or not, like, my higher level prophetic messages, if I should leave those in the circle or if I should move those into the higher tier. But I will unlock one of them that's been on private for a couple of months, and it's called Beware of Spiritual Cloakers. Tap in. And I use the idea, which is very, very real, collective, of how different countries use cloakers to go into war-torn countries. And I've spoken about this before, but go into war-torn countries, donning the uniform of the winning military, and to steal precious commodities, precious artwork. Tap in. And smuggle them through an underground art world. Tap in. And I think I said it before, like, that's why the British Museum continuously gets dragged randomly once a year, because we know that the British Museum sends in cloakers to war-torn countries. I want you to just understand this. I'm not comparing the collective to a war-torn country. I am putting out vulnerabilities. Tap in. That's what I'm pointing out. So a war-torn country is vulnerable. When you have gone through spiritual warfare, you are vulnerable. World governments will send in people of a winning army to steal precious cargo. Tap in. You got spiritual cloakers that will come into your vulnerable space to steal what little essence you have left, the little strength you have left in recovery, in order to pour more chaos into your world. And you thinking you could just shut it off. But once somebody speaks into you in that way, oh baby, it's not, it seeps into you. Tap in. Ooh wee. Page of Wands with the King of Wands. Yeah. It's like, wow. It's almost like you're not even, it's almost like you know what you have to do to stand in your royalty. Hey, but you got people truly stealing your essence and putting it out there in the world. And isn't it wild? Like, look, I saw the 3 of Swords underneath. That I was speaking about calling back your energy. Start calling back your energy after you watch. And I promise you, after you see, you're gonna be like, whoa, wait a minute. This is what that person is doing. Tap in. So I need you to understand these are not misguided practices. These are not misguided practices. Those that are doing this for entertainment and they know they are doing it for entertainment and they live by that creed, that's nothing but respect for them. Nothing but respect for them. Tap in. But those who are saying, oh, this is for entertainment purposes only, but then turn around and pretend or lie or cosplay as someone who can give true spiritual leadership and guidance, and they tell you I have a spell for that, or tell you I have a anointing oil for that. That is serious. What you mean? You want us up here and say for entertainment purposes only, but using people's spirituality as a testing ground for rituals? For spell work, to use elixirs and oils, which connect to the Holy Spirit, to the holy world, or to the unseen realms. That's not entertainment purposes only, baby. That's real deal, Holyfield spiritual work. And there are people who truly do this for real, who believe in it, who take their divine anointed purpose to lead others through big thresholds. But you want to sit in my face. You want to sit in other spiritual leaders' face. You want to sit in the collective's face and say, oh, well, entertainment purposes only, but don't forget to go buy this oil so that you can really do work in the spiritual world. Like, don't fucking play with me. Don't play with me. Tap in. Don't play with me, and don't play with the collective. Be real about what your mission is. And if you can't be real about your mission, then you a fake ass bitch. I'm not even mincing my words today. I was supposed to come in here and be all, damn all that. I'm not even mincing words anymore. You are a dangerous mind. Tap in. And it's a lot of people who've been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. And what they don't need is yet another fake spiritual leader coming in talking about entertainment purposes only, yet they telling you to do some real spiritual stuff with your spirit on the line. Tap in. Now I know people gotta do that for tarot card, and the reason why, let me make a caveat here, y'all. The reason why you'll see that in many of the real spiritual teachers that use tarot, the reason why you'll see that is because people put their almighty faith into these cards. I tell you nearly every live stream, these cards are not God. They are not going to lead you to freedom. I am not God. I can't lead you to freedom. That comes through the Holy Spirit, that comes through the word, that comes through your relationship with God. So in that way, all right, my interpretation of these may not coincide with your life. If you believe that these cards are real, if you believe that these are the end all be all, then you pull for yourself and you make your own decision and interpretation. But I say with my mouth that these cards are not God. Tap in. They are a spiritual tool that I use to interpret my channel messages, or at least keep them in line. And I have gone nearly this entire broadcast without even using them outside of fidgeting with shuffling them. Tap in. So in that way, I understand. Okay. But you can also tell by the stature of the person giving that information what they truly mean by that. Tap in. Do not allow yourself to be indoctrinated by people who usher in confusion every time they step in front of your face. Do not be swayed by those who can say something that feels like it applies directly to your life, but then turns around 1 second later and gives no landing to the heightened emotion. Do y'all know? I gotta say this. Do y'all know I came across in my market research? This bracelet is getting the heck on my nerves, y'all. I came across in my market research that there are titles in the spiritual sector, and let me know, type 1 in the chat if you've ever seen it, of people titling their videos, blank and blank hired a hitman to blank and blank you, or you are in danger, girl. Protect yourself or be blanked off this planet, or something like that. You like, wait a minute, what in the world? What is going on here? Yo, that is inciting something in people who are not only possibly going through a situation like that where their lives are truly in danger, but they are looking for refuge. That is a dangerous mind. Tap in. That's a dangerous mind. People want to know that they're seen and heard and validated. They don't want to be manipulated into believing that the solution is within this message, because it's not. I don't watch those either. I've seen the titles. I don't watch those either. But these videos have views. And I want you to be aware. I want you to be aware that people are watching this and you are interacting with those people. These are people that are part of the collective that are looking for validation in a space to feel safe. Some of those people come here. You might see those people in other chats. Tap in. And they are in a space of high level chaotic manipulation. And that is a dangerous mind. I don't say those people aren't a part of the collective. Why would I say that the people who digest that information aren't part of the collective? I've looked at the comments. A lot of these people they're suffering. They are suffering. People are experiencing life-changing events. And instead of seeking professional help, they're coming to people who are cloakers, who are cosplaying as spiritual leaders and not offering anything other than a space for their chaos to thrive. Dangerous minds. Tap in collective. So let's keep it real. These people, they target the vulnerable. They induce dependency. Exactly. They fracture stability, which means they fracture the community, the family, and they frame the community as a threat. Tap in. That's wild. And these people replace covenant with counterfeit. So what they actually do is, because they're able to make people see a certain or make people feel like they're validated, that person might see them as the sole guide to getting them out of a dark space. Tap in. That is inducing a dependency. That is insane. That is sloppy work. And it is hidden under the guise of ministry. And that is why I felt the need to speak on this today. And it might actually be a part of an ethos of my bigger message. Tap in, collective. So when I started off this conversation today, I said that today's mathematics is the number 7. That's what I said, right? And the number 7 is a completion. It's a form of completion. I know people say, oh, the number 10 is. Yeah, it is. But the number 7, it is a system that comes into completion, right? So the 7 represents exposure and closing that veil. The number 7 represents like sealing the breach, because it's a breach of trust. It's a breach of life. It's a breach of breath. It's a breach of your time. It's a breach of your finances. It's a breach of your pentacle energy. Tap in. So the 7, today's mathematics is 7. You're like, Cass, how'd you get the number 7? Today is September 7th, 2025. I added all those numbers up. And if there were 2 numbers left, I added those up until I got to a single number. It's the number 7, baby. Completion, closing of a cycle, resting. And if you want to restore covenant order and recall your energy, tap in. You've got to redirect the authority back to God. I don't think y'all hear me though. I'm not really sure we are. Are we communicating? Are we here together? Y'all type of one in the chat. We here with it. You have got to redirect, or give me some hearts. Hit the little heart thingy on the side. You hear? Thank you. Somebody said they hear me. Testify. Okay. Just want to make sure y'all with me. You gotta redirect that energy, that authority, not the energy, the authority back to God. You got to get into your true prayers and ask for clarity and discernment, collective. Exactly. Okay. And I want you to assess your parasocial relationships with people. Not just you, but to others. People that are in your circle that you see are spending their life energy, their pentacle energy if you see them giving their time to people who induce chaos all the time, what I say we doing this year, y'all, we calling it out. Calling it out. I want you to say out your mind, that's a fake bitch. Tap in. And we rebuke that demon, because that's demonic to have people playing your spiritual hair like that. Tap in. It is demonic to have people access your portal, your portals. Your fingertips are portals. When you type in this chat, you are directing energy towards me. That's why my mods are so important, because they get it on out the way. You got dangerous minds out here that are activating the collective in a way that harms them rather than gives them space to thrive and grow and work through their problems. Dangerous mind. Tap in. Woo-wee. Absolutely. My moderators are the bomb. Tap in. My moderators are the best. The best of the best. We the best. Okay? Because even if they don't type in the chat a lot, if they see it, gone. Gone. Because one of the things that's important to me is being able to have a chat room where people can share without having to argue with somebody else in the chat that's a dummy. I don't believe in having to argue whether or not you experience certain situations in your life. That is so crazy, because it puts you, tap in, it puts you in a position, it heightens you, right? Because now you're like, who is this person to tell me that I didn't experience what I did? Or who is this person to call me a liar, essentially, is what they do. Remember the other day, I was telling you guys about me being in a deposition to defend somebody else of what I saw of them being victimized. And I told y'all I left that deposition on high alert. My anxiety was so high that I went in the car and cried. Tap in. Because who is the opposition to tell me that I did not see somebody get harmed, and that harm to that person not only affected me, but deeply affected them? How are you going to try to manipulate that and have me defend that? Girl, please. That's why protecting this chat is imperative to me. Tap in. Y'all don't even see the comments that come in after a live stream. People coming in, calling people all types of names. Tap in, deleted, gone, blocked, reporting for bullying and spam. Tap in. You said you could only imagine. Exactly. Exactly. Listen, I'm not here to put nobody hustle down. Far from it. If there are people who are aware of the breach, who are aware of what's going on, and they enjoy it, go for it. Tap in. I'll never tell you not to. But for those who are truly in the mix of wanting to, and does not wanting to, but they have a hunger and a thirst to elevate, to learn more, to do better, to have their journey not only acknowledged, but feel like you walked away with something. Not just validation, but a sense that there's more to your story, and this is a moment that will be dealt with. That you are the CEO of your spiritual life. Tap in. Oh, I really like that. That you are the CEO of your spiritual life. Tap in. And that you don't have to go to any one person to make your decisions, but you appreciate the overall conversation. You appreciate that you're on the right path and in the right direction. If you are somebody who falls into that, then your eyes must be open to the manipulation of people who have already infiltrated into the space. Tap in. This was not always my journey, and I'm sure it wasn't always yours, but here we are. And it is a duty to ensure that you and I are on the same page. And let me tell you something else, y'all. I offer intuitive tarot readings, and I've done a number of them. I actually had an intuitive tarot reading not too long ago where a young lady brought her son into the reading because her son experienced a significant loss of a friend. Tap in, young man, okay? And that was probably one of the most difficult or energetically pulling intuitive readings that I have done, because it started to come from like, okay, let me do my intuitive message, to me putting on a hat of dealing with immediate grief, of a starkness of a loss that was incredibly graphic, collective, incredibly graphic. And I'm dealing with a mother who wants to see her baby do better. And I'm dealing with a son, with a child who is articulate enough to tell me like the way that I am dealing with this is in alignment with how I'm dealing with this. Okay, tap in. It was actually right up my alley, Travis, because it's what I do like in my real life, like, you know. So, but the reason why it was just so heavy is because I'm coming in there like, okay, so tell me what's going on, and it's like, bam, big time energetic exchanging. Could you imagine if I went there and was like, oh, so you brought your son? Okay. Well, there's somebody at school trying to take you out. Oh my gosh, Knight of Pentacles. Now somebody probably stole money from your book bag. Yup, this is a liar. This is a thief. Okay, 4 wands. Okay, so your friend, they went to heaven, tap in. They all right over there, tap in. All right, now I see the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. That means that you back to somebody stealing you. Here go the 9 of Swords. Like, girl, what? Could you imagine? Oh, well, tell them I love them back. Could you imagine being one-on-one with somebody who experienced a significant loss, their mother, and pouring into them more chaos? That is wild. That is wild. And it's a dangerous mind. Baby. I wanted to put that in perspective for you of what people who are seeking healing and connection are really thirsty and hungry for, versus those who use this as a way to stir and pound in chaos and deception and tools of harm, because that's what it is, tools of harm. Tap in. Whew. So what did we learn, collective? My goodness. My goodness. This is a call to action for you, collective. This is a call to action to recognize that even when you have those that are cloaking themselves in a spiritual lexicon, spiritual verbiage that You practice your highest level of discernment of where you are in that moment. And I want you to pull, maybe pull is not the right word. I want you to assess what your energy is like once you leave someone who is doing rapid fire like that, right? Tap in. And I want you to recognize whether or not you're there for entertainment purposes. Because shoot, you might be like, look, I'm here for the tea, bitch. Okay, I'm here for the mess. I just want to know what's going on. Yes, they fulfill a certain part of messiness or a situation in my life, and I love it. Girl, if you are aware, girl, be aware, and I love that for you. Just want you to remember that if you are 1 in 50 people watching, you are one person who is aware of that. And you are dealing with people who might be on the verge of a true mental break because they want somebody who can see the future, validate their experience, and lead them into freedom. Tap in. That's realer than Real Deal Holyfield Collective. And I want to give you that. That is my divine message for today, my prophetic message for today. Before I dip out of here, here are some updates for the collective. If you are part of my collective circle, then you saw on Saturday, was it Friday or Saturday, I posted the community brief. Tap in. Listen, I'm going to find a way, community, to put that in a PDF because, man, my community briefs, I'll be collecting all of the information and putting it into a briefing so that you can understand what's ahead of you, what's happening as far as spiritual warfare is concerned, what you could do. Travis, let me know. Did you like it? Testify, Travis. Testify. Okay? I am pouring into my community. You said it's wonderful. Tap in. Listen, the only reason why I was not longer and I did not go deeper is because I don't like the way it looks on the community tab. I'm going to find a way to put it into a PDF so you can download it. Tap in and I'll just give an overview and then put the link so you can download it. Tap in, okay? Listen. 10 ways to spot a demon. That webinar is coming. I'm going to put a date out by Tuesday. Tap in. I just don't want to interfere with other things I got going on. I just recently gave a seminar to a bunch of cute old ladies. They were so cute on how to use AI to build their businesses. Tap in. It was wonderful. I was giving them tips and tricks that they didn't even know that ChatGPT could give. And I am thinking about taking that webinar and bringing it to y'all. Tap in. Okay. You said it was nice on the page. Okay, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, yeah, I got you. But it's also it says, hold on, let me just re-pull back up because it keeps going on. And I hope you're not calling me crazy, Sunny Moon. Just give me, if you say yes, I'm calling you crazy, let me know so I can block you. But if you're saying like you're telling the other people that they're crazy, let me know so I don't block you because I'm unfamiliar in what's happening with this comment right now. And I'm just asking for clarity. That's all. Okay, while I wait for Sunny, because I thought we was cool, Sunny, but maybe not. Maybe I misread. Okay. All right. And I see Gina also saying right, Sunny. So I misinterpreted. I misread. My apologies. Okay, I got you. I apologize, baby. Okay. And see, that is why asking for clarity is important. Because the way I interpreted that, not seeing the entire chat, was completely wrong. And I thank you, Sonny, for clarifying that. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. You calling the other people. I see. I agree. I agree with you, baby. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Okay, so where was I? 10 ways to spot a demon. I will have a date out for you by Tuesday. And I think that's what I have for right now. That I talked about the ChatGPT and my seminar. And I really appreciate you guys. That's pretty much it. That's what I have for now. Listen, I'm going to plug in my membership. The what is it called? The collective circle. I'm going to keep plugging it because, well, you know, I try to have emotional maturity. It was definitely a journey to get here. But in the community circle, I am gearing up to give so much game. I am going deeper into spiritual warfare, how to protect yourself, manifestation techniques, manifestation in general, how to live a soul-led life, your alignment, all of that. And I believe it's imperative that there is a threshold to get that information because it's an energetic exchange. It takes me a long time to write those things up, to type it out, to have the right voice and tone. So, you know, I really appreciate those that have joined the community. I pray that you stay and that we grow together, and that, you know, we serve as an example for others, and that we show them that there is a bridge from chaos to healing. And that's my goal. That's my goal. Oh, Ms. Gina, me too. Me too. We all need the spiritual protection. What I will say is that spiritual protection is not just saying like, and I'm not saying this about you, I'm just saying that I know what's out there. The spiritual protection is a relationship. And there will never be one thing that you do for spiritual protection. Even in the movie Sinners, I'm gonna have to go back to this because, and I go back to Sinners often because it's a popular movie. Even in the movie Sinners, we know that, what's her name? Annie absolutely, hi, Miss Jackie. Annie absolutely, she not only did the protection bags, but she also did different herbs. She did different prayers. She did different rituals, like the intention behind it. She understood a part of the spiritual world that came from a demonic ethos and manifested itself here. And she understood that veils exist that specifically target certain embodiments of the Holy Spirit. Tap in. And what to do to protect yourself. And so that wasn't one thing. That was a lifetime of work that she was able to enact right then and there. And that is a part of what I'm offering, not in the same way. So I offer insight through multiple modalities, specifically creating sacred spaces, specifically with rituals and threshold services, which I have not started to promote as of yet. Tap in. And through my form of motivational spirituality. That is a part of my gift. And all of that will be behind a paywall because there's a tuition for my intuition, baby. Tap in. The community circle, the crown, what is it called? The crown community, the crown circle. Geez, all these departments, girl, is $2.99 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. Okay, less than a cup of coffee. And this is not just a place where I'm like, hey, all the members get a shout out. Like, no, I'm looking to build a library that you can come back to, that we can revisit and speak about, not just on the community tab, but also with live conversations like this. I just polled the community to ask them if they are interested in more prophetic messages that will come through audio only, or if they would rather just have tarot, they rather do video. Like, I'm asking what you want because you're paying for it. Like, so I want to design it in a community space that works for all of us. It's $2.99 a month. If you are not a member as of yet, think about it. Think about it and pull the lever when the Spirit asks you to. With that being said, y'all, thank you. You said, I really do love what you're built. Thank you. Yeah. Do you know what women use in a spiritual bath? I do. I absolutely do. That's not something that I share here, like publicly, but I do know. There are books on spiritual baths, and let me write it down. Let me write it down on my to-do list. Oh, that's right. I keep a to-do list, y'all. I just spoke about to-do lists, right? I know. A lot of people do. Let me write on my to-do list. But my question for you would be, what do you want to use in your spiritual bath, and why? Do you have a knowledge base, a basic knowledge base? And if you do, what is it? And put the meaning behind that. And if you want to go deeper, then you have a place to start. But remember, you hold the keys, baby. Tap in. So if you need that information, I can recommend some books. But as far as me giving that information, that is a part of a service that I have that is a customized ritual building for you. And it's highly in depth. And that service starts at $444. Tap in. So I can recommend the books for you. There are a lot. And if that's where you start, that's where you'll start. Tap in. I will not sit up here and be like, oh, well, you need to get my service. Like, no, where you are. If HACCP is one, research that. Tap in. Essential oils, research your essential oils. What smells good to you? You want to have flowers on the side of your bath? That's great. Shoot, if you do a little, puff pass while you're doing your spiritual bath, I'm for that. Music, I'm for that. You could build your own. And then as you learn more, start incorporating that. I say, learn from your ancestors and learn with what naturally is in alignment with you. Tap in. Okay? So that's where I'll leave that. But just give me some time, because I have like a to-do list that I really need to get done. And I also have a private one-on-one webinar at what time? At 2:30. So just give me a little time and I got you, okay, baby? I promise. But I did see a few books in I was about to say Borders, but it's Barnes and Noble. I did see a few books. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. Oh yeah, you listen, baby. There's so much that you can do, but never forget that your word, your spoken word, okay? The power of your tongue and your pen, which is mightier than the sword, is also a form of defeating these witches. Okay? Don't ever forget that. Don't never forget that. But I will get those books to you. And I actually have Let me recommend a book right now. Hold on, don't go nowhere, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Boom. The other one is at the house, but this was the one I have in the studio. Can y'all see that? Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. This is the book of the big book of magical incense. I really love this book because it gives a lot of information. It has like fiery wall of protection. It gives different like the hold on, let me find one. My other book is cinnamon and cassia. This is stuff that you can find at on a website like Amazon, or this is even stuff that you can find at like a plant store. Clover, sage, other herbs like vervain, domenia, rosemary, catnip, lemon balm, and it teaches you how to build your own incense. I don't burn incense because of the way my sinuses work, but I do use this as a form of like spiritual tea to put in bathwater. So while most people would use this book to burn the incense, you can listen, you can create your own. And if you're looking for a higher threshold, that's when you would find somebody like me to build something more customizable for you. Okay, tap in. There's another book as well. Do I have it in here? I might not have it in here. It might be at the house. Type a 2 in the chat if you participate in the puffer pass. The puffer pass. Okay. You don't gotta put all your business out there. You could type something like, all right, I'm not confessing. Okay, let me know. But if you do, I'll go grab that book because I'm looking at it right now. Okay, baby. Well, thank you so much. So I'm tapped in. I'm about to tap out. Girl, be like that sometimes. Okay, I feel you. Okay, y'all said not currently. Okay, okay, perfectly fine. Let me see. There's another one. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me go grab it. Actually, it's 3. Okay. And I believe the other ones are at the house. Okay. All right, y'all. Whew, talking about giving some books. This book right here, Sacred Sounds. Oh my gosh, this book is absolutely amazing. This one, I actually found this one at a thrift store for $4.50. It's probably one of the best books about sound that I've ever come across. It definitely talks about the throat chakra. It talks about a history of the mystical bards. It speaks about the art of magical storytelling. Oh my gosh, y'all, I'm trying to tell you. Creation of the prayer poem, sonnet magic, chanson. So a lot of these words may be unfamiliar to you, but that's okay. You need to screenshot it. Which one? The book of magical incense. I'll put it on my community tab for you, baby. Don't worry, I'll take a picture of all of these. This book right here is amazing. Back in my TikTok days, boy, we was in this book, okay? The second one is, or the third one is titled The Disappearing Spoon. Tap in. Hey, Joe. The Disappearing Spoon is, these are stories about the periodic table of elements. And there is some quite interesting information in here about how people that believe in mystic arts utilize, look, artistic elements. Tap in. Tap in. Here we go. Political elements. Oh, baby. So this is also a really good book, How Elements Deceive. Okay. And then the reason why I asked about the, am I doing a reading group again? Listen, Joe is a true OG. When I say true OG, I'm talking about 6 years, 7 years at this point, something like that. And I used to do a book club where I came on here and just read the book. Like I would have the digital copy up on the screen, just read the book and just break the book down. Tap in. Joe, they didn't appreciate it then. You know, I don't know if I'll do that again. Anyway, for my puff givers, this book right here, Cannabis and Spirituality. Okay, tap in. An Explorer's Guide to an Ancient Plant Spirit Ally. I won't get into too much of this because I tell you quite frankly, listen, YouTube is acting pretty funny, a pretty funny style. Okay, tap in. So those are, I will take the pictures and I'll post them on my community tab for you so you know what books that you can reference. But you are not bound to the way that people use these. Okay, you can create your own path. Okay, tap in. And the way that you consecrate that into law is you speak over it. You pray over it. Tap in and you do what feels good. You're welcome. Yes, I do. Medical apartheid was infuriating read, but yes, a very good one. A very good one. And you know what, Joe, is very interesting because when I go to the VA, okay, y'all, the VA is a trip. But when I go to the VA, oftentimes I will see staff speak to older vets rapid fire. You see what I'm saying? Like we just spoke about. I'll see them speaking to vets in that way, where the vet has to ask the questions over again, or maybe they don't ask questions at all. I tell you straight up and down, I bust in the middle of a conversation. Sir, did you understand exactly what was being told to you? Because I'm looking at you and I feel like there's a look on your face that could be construed as confusion. Please let me know. I'm here to help you. Right? Tap in. No, I don't have access to these people with medical records, none of that. Okay. No, but I ensure that who's being spoken to can understand the conversation at hand. I will give you a better example. I was in a support group, tap in, because we talk about support groups over here, community building. I was in a support group for my weight loss. It's a very popular group called MOVE, M-O-V-E, with the VA. Joe and my other veterans are probably very familiar with this. Okay, it's a part of what helped me drop a lot of weight. And a young lady was there who needed help with transportation. She was retired. She had medically retired from the Army due to a stroke. She had a stroke at a very young age in the military, and she was medically retired. So getting to the program, oh, you are, Joe? Hey. So getting to the program was difficult for her. So at the end of a class, she was asking the instructor, like, how could she receive certain services? And the instructor had no idea. No idea. And girl, please, do you see this? And so the instructor had no idea because he was in a whole nother world. And so I said, well, come on, let's roll to the patient advocacy office and let's find out together. By the way, my name is Cass. You know, I'm a veteran as well, but I kind of know how to move around in these spaces. So we walked to the patient advocacy. The patient advocate was like, no help at all. So we went and found a social worker. Now, mind you, the patient advocate and the social worker are like miles away from each other for some reason. Okay, so we walk around to the social worker's office, and the social worker is using terminology and conversation starters or pieces that was not fully being digested by this young woman who is someone who's recovering from a stroke. Tap in. Okay. So I busted in and I was like, okay, let's slow down for a minute. Fran, do you understand what's being told to you? Do you have any questions? Do you have, do you need her to repeat something? Do you need a piece of paper? Would you like anything? Would you like some water? Like anything. And right. Like what is it in this moment that you need, right? Because we're not operating in confusion, and you're not going to leave this young woman hanging when she needs a particular service for her life. Tap in. And so the social worker is like saying, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to saying, like, you're telling this young woman that you're going to do something for her life, but I don't see anything moving with your hands. So could you please document in her records that you are putting in these recommendations for her so that she can know when to expect these phone calls so she doesn't miss them, right? So the young lady is sharing, who she lives with, what's going on in her world, why things are difficult for her because she does not have the physical support being a stroke survivor. Tap in. And I'm sitting here looking at this social worker like, how in the world are you listening to this young woman's story and you are not documenting one bit of this information? I have a problem with you, and I'm about to get up and go back around to the patient advocacy office, get everybody's phone number that lives in this district, and I'm about to blow up the spot because this is ridiculous. Tap in. We are not doing cloakers, right? I just said how these cloakers in the spiritual realm and the spiritual algorithm usher in chaos. And I refuse for a social worker like what I went to school for to do the same to somebody who needs these services, okay? So as this woman started, it looked like she was so bothered to put in this woman's information to get help. And I'm asking this woman who I just met that day. I didn't know nothing about her. I only seen her in the class. We never spoke. I'm saying, do you have any questions for this woman? And so the woman is like, yes, I have a question about how will I know that I'm approved for these services? And the social worker said, oh, well, somebody will call you. So I said, who should she expect a phone call from? And what number will they be calling from? Will they be calling from the number that is the overall VA number? Or should she be expecting a phone call from somebody's work cell phone number? And do you know anybody's name so that she knows what call she's answering? This woman is a stroke survivor. Okay, like, we don't know if she can see her phone. We don't know if she's going to have a problem getting to get her phone when somebody calls. Like, we need information. The reason why I brought that up is multifaceted. One, because I don't like when people take advantage of those who are physically and mentally unable to catch up to the information. They might be able to understand it at that point in time, but to respond, it might be a slight delay. I don't like people who take advantage of that. Okay, I don't. Number two, that causes confusion. Number three, if you can't pick up on something that is so blatantly obvious, what you in this job for? Tap in. Number four, that is ushering in someone to give up on a system that is helping them lose weight. Tap in, which is in turn a big deal for everybody, but also for someone who is a stroke survivor. Tap in. When I saw that young lady 2 weeks later, she said no one had called her and that she is running out of options to receive transportation to this program because who was supporting her was unable to do that. Tap in. When I said I turned every which way but the right way, There is a 1-800 number. Okay, tap in, y'all. There's a 1-800 number to Washington, D.C. that was established by y'all's current president in his first term. Tap in. I think I still have the number. You can use this for any veteran, y'all. Hold on. I'm going to bring it up for y'all. Y'all think I'm playing. Hold on. Washington, D.C. VA hotline. The number is 1-855-948-2311. That's 1-855-948-2311. That Washington, D.C. hotline will get you to another veteran. It is 24/7. You said you have the number on speed dial. So do I. It is 24/7. You call, a veteran will pick up, they will give you a case number, a phone number, and they take down the entire report, and they send it not only to the patient advocate, they send it to the social worker, they send it to the doctor, they send it to the head of the department. Like, multiple people get this report. Multiple. When I saw her that following week after making that report, she done got her transportation services for not only that program, but for every doctor's report. They done sent her a VSO officer. Joe, girl, they was doing the most for her. They was finding appointments that was closer to her because her drive was like 45 minutes. What you mean? And that's what I mean when I say, like, y'all, we've got systems in play that are aiming to confuse and diffuse the collective and tell them not to build a community. That woman is now a part of my community, and I'm a part of hers and she's a part of mine. Tap in. That's it. That's the moral of the story. For the most part. Tap in. All right, y'all. Listen, I was supposed to get off of here 45 minutes ago. Okay. I always want to share parts of my world because, listen, y'all, we're going through this together. All right. It takes a village. Mona, why are you laughing? It takes a village. Do y'all have any questions before I dart up out of here? Any questions? I'm going to take questions for like 3 minutes. You're welcome, baby. Listen, the way the VA, and they want to privatize the VA even more. That's insane. You're welcome, Travis. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Not seeing any questions. I love you too, Gina. Tap in. Oh, I am sorry, Jackie. I am not someone who can see into the future. There are too many intersectional points that can cross into that. So I don't see that type of information. Tap in. I'm unable to give you that answer. I don't do predictive readings. That is not my strong suit. You're welcome. Yes, I can. Give me a little bit. Give me a little bit what's happening. If you can. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, Gina. You can, but I will tell you this, and I will tell anybody this. Don't dump on me. Please do not dump on me. Please do not emotionally overload me, because I will respond to you back, and I'm not doing this to be mean. This is for anybody that wants to email me. I put my email address out there because I love y'all. But if you overwhelm me, I will tell you that I'm not reading all of this. I'm not. And because essentially, once you start overloading me, I take on that energy. And now we're talking about you need a one-on-one, and I'm gonna send you a link. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I'm absolutely glad. Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're understanding like where my thresholds are as a okay. The first time something happened and your head hurt, your eyes started jumping, temple, everything. It sounds like you had a physical reaction to something that was happening in the spiritual world. How do you deal with that? Oh, okay. The first thing I'm going to tell you is assess what it was that did that to you. God damn, y'all. First of all, let me just say, the demon that designed bras can just burn in hell forever. Okay. Now, I must have missed the first part. That's all right. I'm here with you, baby. I'm here with you. It sounds like you have dealt with the physical aspect of a spiritual experience. Okay. Why y'all laughing at me? Like, for real. God damn. Y'all see me like lifting it up? And it is an overwhelming experience, Miss Jackie. It totally is. And I will never, ever downplay it. The way that you deal with it is you love yourself. If that means you have to back away from certain people, if that means you have to get more sleep, eat healthier, eliminate certain foods, go into I like to call your Zen space, or create a Zen space for yourself. What does this look like? You might want to go to a garden. You might want to go into a movie theater by yourself. Take yourself out to dinner or lunch. I'm always going to tell you to pray. Pray, 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 because it's the physical symptoms. It's the physical symptoms you are experiencing from a spiritual interaction. Tap in. That is, you are not the only one. That is a common experience, especially. So if you're saying like your head is thriving, let me go back. Your head hurt, your eyes started, that's nerves. That's your nerve. When your eyes start jumping, that's nerves. So nerves are bad. Nerves were fucking shots. Okay. That is dealing with the nervous system. So breathing. Listen, the breath is one of the most, I gotta give a movie reference. Tom Cruise, played by Ethan Hunt. I think it was on the 5th or 6th Mission Impossible, where he had to go underwater and to get a chip or something, and he had to hold his breath for 6 minutes. Tap in real life. Okay. And I was watching some behind the scenes where the breathing coaches were talking about, it was MI5. The breathing coaches were talking about how not only is this a physical job, but it's also a spiritual job to learn how to control your breath in a way for survival. And one of the things that they teach you to do in your breathing exercises is interact or put your body physical movement with your breath. That's why I love yoga so much. Tap in. Do not discount your breath. If your eye is jumping, if your nerves are going off, you've got to connect that with somatic breathing. That is breathing with movement. Tap in. There are countless videos. There are countless coaches who teach you the proper way to do breathing. Tap in. Hot yoga is the truth. You know, I do hot yoga. With the too much information coming in at one time, my goodness. Let me cut off the last thought before I go into the next one. So when it comes to let me go back to the comment. I got you, baby. Your head hurting and your eyes start jumping, that's a physical symptom. Take a Tylenol, take an aspirin, drink your water, and breathe. It could be as simple as that. Okay? That part does not have to be overcomplicated. Take you a shower. Don't got to be complicated. Rub your temple. Rub your head. That part does not have to be complicated because you know what's causing this. Information overload, spiritual interactions. You might be having a spiritual awakening, might be going through a spiritual battle, all of that. Here's what I'm going to tell you about the overload. Girl, ain't nothing you can do about it. When the information pours down, it pours down. Honor your moment. Say, oh my gosh, okay, there's a lot of information coming through right here, right now. I am overwhelmed. This is a lot, and I feel like there's nothing I can do, but there is something I can do. You can pull out your phone and you can start just talking. Boom, talking into your phone, recording. This is what I'm downloading. This is what I'm channeling. This is what's happening. This is how I feel. Like when I say speaking it out, oh my gosh, speak it out. Tap in, tap in. Get out your book, start writing it. These are just simple. This is just as simple as I can get on here without going on into another threshold because I don't know everything that's going on with you. But on the real, tap in, you ain't got to make it difficult. You don't got to make it next level. So use your phone, tap in, use your pen and paper, and do one of these moves. Hold on, this is the move I do. Okay, hold on. Okay, I take can y'all kind of see this paper? Okay, I write information. And I'll probably write next to it information. Okay, don't mind my handwriting, y'all. Okay, so I write it down just like that. And I start drawing branches around it. What's the information coming through? Okay, it might be somebody's a raggedy ass biatch. Okay. It might be an ancestral message from, let's see, Bob. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. Let me see. Awakening on political matters. Okay. Boom. Turn around. Clarity on a scripture, or it's coming to more focus. Job is trash. Start job searching. Okay, I'm dead serious, y'all. Y'all think I'm playing? Yes, map it out. Start job searching because the downloads that's coming in is truly telling you that movement must be made, or you got to sit down in certain spaces. Okay, only you know. And then once I start looking like, okay, I got my information in formation. All right, now that I got that. Now, what do I have to do to get to moving? Okay, because the information won't stop coming. And if you leave it in your head, it's going to cause a state of confusion and anxiety. Tap in. So you want to write this out. I have a post on my community tab about how to create your list. Tap in. And then the third piece of advice I'm going to give you in this moment is speak over it. Speak over it. Pray on it. And give what you cannot control to God. And deal with it when you can. Awakenings, no matter if it's spiritual warfare or a lot of information and understanding is coming into view, they're harsh. They are not easy at all. But it's a part of your journey. Honor it. Honor it and speak. Like, yeah, this is a lot of work. This is crazy. I don't know what, but we gonna get it together. That is as YouTube as I can make it without going beyond that, without going into my threshold services. Okay. But if it's messing with your nervous system, your breath work is powerful. Powerful, powerful. Okay. Any more questions before I get up out of here? Thank you for that question. Thank you so much for that. Good. Good. And keep telling the spirit that. No. It's always going to be easy with you. No, I'm not going to treat you like, oh, you should already know this. Heck no. Heck no. But when you honor it, it does give a different feel when you honor your journey and acknowledge that this is crazy. When you acknowledge like, yo, what, like, all this information at the same time, what you trying to do? But listen, when you organize it, when you get clear and tell, it ain't gonna take years and years. No, just let it take 20 minutes out your day. Let it take 20 minutes out your day. Okay? And listen, what Sunny Moon is saying is true, but I also know, as Sunny Moon noticed too, and so does the collective, girl, to get to that point is a journey. Let go, let it be, and breathe, especially when you're new to this. Now we got to face this head on. Yes, organize it. Organize and break it down as much as you need to. For real. For real. Take it out of your mind. Put it on paper. Put it on wax. Go back and listen to it. Go back and create a list. Can control, can't control. Write out names. Organize it. Organize it. And I guarantee you, once you treat your initial symptoms of your eyes jumping and your headache and all of that, and please, I think somebody in here said it already, drink your water, because when you travel through realms like that, it dehydrates you. That's another story for another time, but drink your water. But when you organize it like that, your symptoms, your physical symptoms start to decrease. Tap in. Be gentle with yourself and also honor yourself. Always honor yourself. If you paid for a service from me, one of the first things I'm gonna come in and say is honor yourself, honor this moment, because you're here. And clearly spirit guided you in a way that allows you to receive this information, good or bad. That is an anointing. That is you being proven that you are worthy for this. Tap in. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. And as you grow deeper in your practice and receiving all levels of information, spiritual warfare, all the way through your anointings, the symptoms are gonna be the same, girl. They don't change. They don't change. Even in my stage of being a practitioner, when I feel it come down, it's coming down. And I'm not going to assume anything. Why I'm going to assume? I'm going to assume that you are a woman and that you be going through the motions every 28 days like most of us do. Girl, then you really be trying to decipher. All right, is this a spiritual awakening or is this just my body? Oh, well, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate you trusting that this is a moment for me, trusting me enough to answer your question with love. Tap in. That right there is a moment for me. So I appreciate you on that. They do get easier. They do get easier. But my goodness, even when it gets easier, it's still like, what is this? Yes, I tell y'all, when I'm talking to y'all, listen to music. Okay, gotcha. Okay. I got got you. I got you. I definitely, listen, I'm on my way. I ain't even ready for it. I saw this meme of this woman who had I think she had a ball cut and she was at a game. Let me know if y'all saw that. It was actually a video. And she was going through the changes and her head was literally steaming. That's how her hot flash was coming off. I really appreciate y'all. This was a great live stream. Okay, I really love this. You got to ask that question. Listen, you got to ask that question. I'm here for it. Okay, I'm here for it. I really appreciate this live stream. I might take this part off, the last part where or I might keep it on there. Shoot, why not? I don't know. I'll see how I feel. But my point in all of this is saying just practice your discernment and see who's really for you. And know the tools or have the tools to discern whether or not someone truly wants to guide you in a way that supports you or guide you in a way of completely dismantling all the work that you put in. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. I love you guys so much. I appreciate every last one of you. Ms. Jackie, thank you so much. I bless your gift 1,000-fold, and your gift to me was asking me the question, trusting me enough to handle your question with care. So I definitely bless that gift 1,000-fold, and keep me posted. Keep me posted because your journey, it does matter. Okay, tap in. I love you guys so much. I'm going to see you on the next one. Don't forget, y'all, I have to leave because I have a webinar that's happening in about a half hour. So I'm going to go grab something to eat, and then I will be on that, and I will see you on the next one. I love you. Take care, y'all. Bye.